AI?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
I started to learn actually around late last year, like around this time
Mm-hmm.
to early this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I only got the I'll say one part because there's so many tools. There's no
Yes.
way you can, you know, I'll learn all the tools. It's more like the tools that I currently need or a client needs, then I get familiar with it. But then all
Right.
those other ones that, let's say I'm not a graphic designer, for example, then I won't need, I won't have a chance to know about that part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot. But as far as social media space, I think that's a part I'm focusing on,
What
including the
you have a
video.
you have a good handle on that, right? You have a good grasp.
Yeah, there's different software or program or app website, but they
Yes.
all kind of serve the same thing. It's just the different brand or different pricing.
And
So
and
yeah,
you just mentioned three words that were program, app,
software.
and software, right?
Yes.
AI is going to change all that.
Yeah,
It's going
it's
to
gonna.
change all that. It's going to be the difference between night and day. I can see it. I can feel it. Oh, what's it say on your cup?
Nothing. That's why I need to learn.
Oh,
I need to learn how to brand
oh,
the
okay.
mug.
Yeah, that's another aspect of social branding. Yes.
Yes, there's a social branding, personal branding,
Yes.
and then I actually was like thinking, 80, 70 branding. It's always have a avatar, right? Let's say
Hmm,
McDonald, for example, has that clown.
right.
Wendy has a Wendy face, and I mean not JF, KFC has the guy, the old man. See
Right.
that's not the avatar. And then if we move, let's say forward a couple decades, like probably 90s, then we call how do you call that, sponsorship? It's like today's influencer. Like the company or brand will hire someone who's famous, like movie stars, athlete,
Hmm. Yes.
and then the avatar face out. You see,
Yes.
the McDonald, the KFC
Yes.
icon. Then the
And I
switch.
think they used to call those trademarks before, right? What's your trademark?
Yeah, and
And they have a little
then
circle on the bottom, TM, right?
right, and then now in today's world, it become personal branding, meaning we are our own face of our own business, our own brand.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think the person who did the best in right now is Elon Musk. See, if you take him compared to, let's say, Jeff Bezos, Jeff Bezos is not as out there as compared to him.
Right.
And then so some, I'll say, OGs kind of follow Elon Musk, so we get to see more of like Warren Buffett, you know,
And and
Bill Gates.
I think that also has to do with personality.
Yeah, well, it's people saying it's they want to be private, right? Privacy, but I know the good people, the one who know how to market themselves as a personal branding, their own face. They know, when it comes to social media, they know what to share and whatnot. So if you take, let's say, Ed Milet, we both familiar with. You only see Ed Milet, you don't know what his kids looks like, even though we know his kid's name is Max. Right? And then, or Brendan Burchard, you met at the convention. We never know who his family is. See, so
Yeah.
they know what to do with marketing, and they know what to choose to present to the public or not. So I think that goes same with this movie stars and celebrity. We always hear those gossip about their family affair. Kanye West, or all those Kim Kardashian. So I think those are their playbook. So they purposely wanted people to know about their business. You know what I
You
mean?
don't hear about Kanye West anymore on social media,
He got
right?
because he got canceled. I'll use the word cancel.
Oh, he's part of the cancel culture, as they call it.
Yeah, because was it like 6 months ago
or more?
Yeah, but hey, to be honest with you, right now, late 2023, whatever he said about Jules.
Oh, he did say something, right?
Yeah, and actually it's happening right now, right?
Oh,
right? You see what I mean?
Okay, I see what you're saying. He said something months ago, even a year ago,
about 6 months
about
ago.
the current situation, and it came true.
Yes, and also he is an African American black who supports Trump, and everybody's
That's right.
him. But guess what? Now the Black Lives Matters co-founder is endorsing Donald Trump. See?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I say all this. I get, I don't. Of course, I didn't do the official fact check, but the source I follow, the news, is not the traditional news media. So I think it's pretty much accurate. But anyone who's listening can fact check, no problem.
Right.
Let us know what you found, right?
Right. And with going back to Kanye West, so before he was a Trump supporter, and now you mentioned Black Lives Matter founder or co-founder, also supporting Trump as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, or even today, if you support Trump, you're part of the cancel culture.
Yeah, well, there's two sides because Trump is more outsider, they consider, right? And then so he is not in their system, and then we can talk a little bit about this part, but there's like they call it shadow government. Shadow
government
or secret society.
We went from AI to shadow government. Wow.
Yeah, because
that's great. That's great.
That's the connection. Yes. Because we were just talking about personal branding. You put your face out. Okay. Shadow government and secret society. There's no face. But those people, the face is Biden, but Biden does not control anything. You know what I mean? Right? Yes. Does that make sense now? Does that make connection now?
Okay, so the shadow government is part of a
system.
A system. Could you call them a brand as well?
System is the Matrix. Does that make sense?
Okay, so now the Matrix. Okay, so the Matrix.
The Matrix is AI.
So I can follow it. When you say the Matrix, what are you referring to? Are you referring to the movie The Matrix?
Well, here's the funny thing. The movie came out in the late 90s, approximately 1997, I believe. So when we watched that movie, we categorized the movie as sci-fi, right? A lot of movie, like out of the realistic, is called sci-fi. It's categorized sci-fi. So at that time, of course, that the movie is sci-fi, but now 2023, we're looking back to many of those sci-fi movie. It's actually not sci-fi anymore.
And just to backtrack, so sci-fi is something made up or make-believe or creativity, just an idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah. So for example, Matrix, they talk about a lot of things. Red pill, blue pill. What does that say?
And the red pill means one thing, and the blue pill means another thing.
You want to choose freedom or I forgot the line. You will choose freedom, or you choose, I believe, something like comfortable. You can check. You can double
Oh
check.
wow, let's check
Yeah,
this out. Blue pill.
blue
Let me
and
put
white
some
pill.
blue
Which
pill.
one do you choose? Do you? I remember
Oh,
one you choose.
the other blue pill came up, the one that we're not going to talk about right now. Okay, let's go
Oh,
back to what it means. Okay,
okay
just
then.
under Wikipedia,
Mm-hmm.
the it's a choice, as you just mentioned,
Right.
um, to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth
Exactly.
by
See.
taking the red pill,
Right.
or remaining in the
Mm-hmm.
contented experience of ordinary reality with the blue pill. So the blue pill is being comfortable, living life every day the way it's always been. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
any change,
Right.
nothing to be different from yesterday.
That's
However,
why.
going back to the red pill, it
Um,
means that you need to you want to know the truth.
exactly. So if we take
So
that before,
that implies the life that is going every day,
so yeah.
no
So
change, is not the truth.
if we reflect,
Truth and not the truth.
yeah. Let me say something. If we
Oh,
reflect that to today's, like right now, it's actually reflecting the what's happening right now, because there's a group of people which maybe Trump supporter, put it that way. They want their patriot, and they are they want to find out the truth. They don't want to be in the system anymore. That remember Trump has opened a social media called Truth Social, right?
wow. So
And
Trump is a red pill? Trump is a
yeah,
red pill.
and then red
Yeah.
pill is equivalent to Republican, red state, red. You see?
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
that's a good thread there from the Matrix going
yeah.
to what's
So
going on
that's why
today.
there's a saying online that
I
Matrix
like
is
that.
not. There's a saying online that Matrix is not a sci-fi anymore. It's documentary. If we're looking back right now,
Wow.
yeah. So
So what is truth and what is ordinary reality?
so so let's say back to the so we just take that back to the social media and AI. It's
Okay.
all linked together, because social media is kind of like the vehicle, the messenger, right? To
Oh,
make us
and you mentioned influencers a few minutes ago.
mm-hmm.
So there was and there is, the influencers many times when they were posting on social media, whatever the platform was or the app, there was a veil of
they,
reality saying what I'm showing you is how it's really at. I'm living this life. I'm having these things. I'm traveling and eating this great food. When in reality, many of the influencers, it was not truth.
well, it's like, how do I say? It's part of the system, put it that way,
Mm,
because we, just like what I said from the beginning, a brand has an avatar. So like we follow, why they've created a clown as their avatar, because they want to attract the kids, which is the next generation, right? In the 80s, right? So we are the next generation right now for the Madonna, right? And
oh, okay.
you see how many people are addicted to a Madonna.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
Because of that starting point, they use a clown as an influencer to influence our brain and put a system, a program into our mind. So now we have to eat Madonna. Do you understand?
I think I know what you're saying, and with that connection with the kids, I believe I saw it on TikTok. There
Yeah.
was a little segment where the father or the mother, I forgot,
Mm,
but it was a parent, and the young lady, the baby, I want
right.
to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, the parent said, well, if you can spell McDonald's, we're going to go there. We're
Okay.
gonna go to somewhere where you can spell. And of course, she wasn't old enough. She didn't even go to school, so she couldn't spell McDonald's.
And I'm sure kids meal they invented, right?
And what her answer was, well, then I want to go to KFC.
Yeah, but I
So she spelled KFC, and she
from
still
my
got her food through the avatar.
yeah. So let's take that and
Okay.
then link to today's world. So
Okay.
you mentioned TikTok. So TikTok is actually for the newer generations vehicle. Just the same concept, same logic, what I just mentioned. So social media, Facebook maybe for you and I, the Gen X and boomers, and Twitter maybe also, we are more into those newer, OG social media, but the new ones is like TikTok, right? New generation, they use that, some Instagram. So when you place a influencer, a person, doesn't matter if it's politicians or those gurus, they call it, or let's say people like Patrick Davids, Andrew Tate. So those are the people who are considered influencer, right? Because they say something, they do a show. Joe Rogan is another one. Tucker Carlson is a new one these days. So all these are the influencers. When they say something, they do a show, or they open a new business. Elon Musk, right? They all influence the stock market, the people, how the people think.
So that's a new word, like avatar, influencer. Those
Mm-hmm.
are all new words. Well, not new, but if
Yeah.
you were hesitant to go into work with a computer, or nowadays, what is it, a tablet, right? First it was computer, laptop, and now tablet.
Yeah,
right?
I want to just give you some. This may be a little bit off subject, but it's related.
Okay.
Because those words are we call it, label, and then like they say the ancient time, they see something, wow, they never seen it before, but they don't know how to. There's no word for it. There's no label for it.
Okay.
So like I heard from Doris Kenneth, he has a connection with shoot, I forgot his name. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame?
Yes. She
Okay.
had, and then she said Notre Dame told her that there's a black mirror that would provide information, knowledge. So again, I'm gonna show you my phone again. This is the black mirror. If you try to read,
Oh, wow.
mirror. So it's just why you mentioned tablet, computer, laptop.
They're all black mirrors.
Yeah, TV too.
Yeah.
See, interesting, huh?
Mm.
So it's called Black Mirror back then, long time ago, 500 years ago.
Well,
Now,
like you said, maybe he saw it and he just didn't know how to explain it.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yes.
Nowadays, we just call it, oh, that's a screen.
Technology.
Yeah, that's a screen. That's just a blank screen.
Right. So I really believe. Okay, let me see. Daddy, what?
I know you're going to freeze the frame later on. That's okay.
Yeah, that will be your
Avatar thumbnail. All right, maybe I should make sure that it's properly said so anybody seeing it can see it.
Where can they order that? Do you have a shop for that?
It'll be in the. We'll provide the link down in the comments,
Okay.
in the description, as it were. Right.
Right. All right. So let's back to the branding, influencer, avatar. So that goes back to the same thing. The governments, politicians also have same concept. They have a spokesperson. Oh, I now remember the word. It's not sponsor. It's called spokesperson.
Okay.
Right. But in the 90s, early 2000, they hire celebrities, athlete as a spokesperson. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so same thing. Back to the governments, they also have a spokesperson.
Have you on a spokesperson or influencer? Like an influencer could be someone by themselves, right? Or representing a company or representing themselves. Whereas a sponsor could be representing a corporation or a
sponsor
company or product.
Yeah. Well, sponsor is, let's say, it's the same thing, but the role just opposite. So I am sponsor you to be the spokesperson of Shelby's brand, put it that way. But it's just different terms.
Right.
But if you take that as in politics, so Joe Biden right now is the spokesperson of United States. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But he is a spokesperson, but the real boss is not him. You see what I mean?
Wow.
That's so deep, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
And the word that I'm thinking, we're talking about politics, is perhaps the same role, but a slight difference would be someone who would be called a lobbyist in politics.
Mm.
Right? They represent a group of individuals, corporations, or industries.
Right. Yes.
And they go and represent those industries.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. Okay.
See, and that person is also a spokesperson or influencer or avatar. Right. So all these, the reality we live in is our it's all linked together. It's the same pattern, like if you want to use that word.
And then just to go ahead and bring it down to perhaps my level, when you see someone, for example, in a uniform, they represent that uniform.
Yes.
So like in the medical field, if you see a white coat, that's a doctor, right?
Yes.
Right. And then if you see someone in, let's say, the legal industry, and they're wearing a police officer's uniform, they are representing that part.
Exactly. That's why I say it's called programming and system. Meaning we have Halloween, we put on a coat, we put on a shirt or skirt, we become that superhero. You see?
Yeah.
But in reality, they're not that superhero. It's just weaving programmed that way.
Okay.
So back to the Joe Biden. So he is been put as a costume as a president of the United States, but he is not actually,
he's not representing the United States.
He is.
What did you mention?
He is, but the how do you call that? Maybe there's certain thing that he doesn't. He's not the one making it decisions, or or doing the controlling.
I'm thinking his intentions are not 100% United States citizens of the United States. It's perhaps somebody else or something else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we call it the Matrix, the secret society,
so the Matrix is. So what you think is reality, like in the Matrix, it's really not real, which is why.
So when you have blue and red pill, which one do you want to go?
Wow.
Wow.
And then the main character of the movie the movie Matrix are Neo and of course Trinity, which is the female counterpart, and then there's Morpheus, right?
Right.
Who knows they both know, Trinity and Morpheus know that there is a Matrix. So my thing would be, which is something similar to what came first, the chicken or the egg. So what came first, the Matrix or the blue or red pill?
I think,
right?
I think the Smith, is it Smith?
Smith, the agent, yes.
The agent
Smith
came first.
Well, what about the program? Because before the Matrix had to be invented or created, there needs to be a program, right?
Yeah, but the reason I say he came first because he tried to stop them, right? And he probably started it, whatever program, just like our government, government, they start, and then those are just like same thing with Star Wars, you know, the Dark Force, whatever you want to call it, Darth Vader, and then they always have people who off track. You see what I mean? So in order to
I see you're using that example.
So that's
Darth
why
Vader was good, or he had the Force.
Yeah, and
strong. The Force is strong within this.
So anybody who's off track, off their agenda or their rules, then they have to send somebody to go after them to correct them. You see what I mean? So Smith is the person doing that. Okay, Joe Biden is just like the Smith. He's like the person who
if it is a
tried
program,
to be here to correct us after the COVID because some people are awakening, including myself. So you know what I mean.
So this program could literally run for generations.
Yes, and Donald Trump is that how do you say? Like the
Neo?
Recent
Donald Trump like Neo?
Like Neo or Luke or Leia or Solo.
Trinity? Going to okay, you're talking about
Resistance.
The Resistance.
Yeah.
He's part of the rebel. He's the Rebel Alliance.
That's why they want to shut him down. You see what I mean? That's why Smith want to shut Neo and Trinity down. You see what I mean? That's why some people got canceled. You see what I mean?
So Kanye, I don't know. Kanye. So you're saying
if we release this,
you think Kanye took the red pill?
Yes. If we release, we're gonna release this episode. I don't know what will happen.
Right. This is gonna be an iffy one.
What if we get canceled?
You just went so deep in 20 minutes.
Yeah, only 20 minutes. But the problem is a lot of people have been programmed for 60, 70 years. They still don't know.
And even like I mentioned a few minutes ago, if this program or this reality
Matrix, the
Matrix is a program and it can continue running, it can go generations.
Yeah, because they already implanted for the next to impact or to influence the next generation. Because as you like the McDonald's analogy.
McDonald's, right? Oh yeah, McDonald's, all these corporations that are hundreds of years old.
Yeah, now TikTok is another one.
That could go on.
They all have something that's, implant for the next generation to be the way they want to, put it that way. And we both, I don't know about you, but I was just like what they expecting to be, but now I'm going the opposite way. That's why sometimes life is hard because I'm going the opposite direction.
So are you saying you're making a U-turn in a 1-lane highway, Shelbe?
Yes.
Did you make a slow U-turn or a fast U-turn, or did you do like a too fast, too furious, and pull the handbrake and jerk the wheel?
I won't say it's a U-turn, but it's just like the tree behind you. I create another branch. You see, because this kind of like can reflect to many different things. Doris Cannon also mentioned about branches. Like the tree behind you. and also the movie, the new Loki season.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The
TVA
Marvel
also
superhero.
mentioned about branching, So that when they say that, I look at the tree differently now. I look at
Oh,
the
and you
tree,
mentioned the Loki character.
yeah.
In
So
his, I just glanced at one of them. I didn't see the whole thing, but there
mhm,
was some forces there that in the Marvel world, Loki was very powerful, right? He was a god, quote unquote, from him, right? I am a god.
yes,
And then he met the Hulk, who's like, I don't know about gods, but I'm gonna take care of you. But
right,
in the movie, in the series Loki, he actually is powerless in the beginning, right? He
yeah,
can't use any of his powers.
exactly. So that's why I said, um, now I look at the tree differently because I take that whatever it is I saw on the show, and then Thor's Kennan's video speech. So I put two and two together. Now I see trees differently, like what they are saying, and reflect back to our life. We make, I don't know. You can Google this. Every human being, once they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they are constantly making decision every single second. And there's, I don't know how many thousands of decisions they
Oh,
make.
during the day, yes.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is those decisions we make is influenced by, can be, like I just mentioned, I kind of woke up, so I consume a different content, right? And then, of course, there's traditional media influencing you. There's government on top of you, us to influencing you, and there's different company brands influencing you, right? So our life is bombarded by different influencing voices, noises, tell you what to do, right?
So if you carry your cell phone around, that's more hours you're being influenced.
If you look at it, yes, Black Mirror, right? You see what I mean? And now we are recording this episode and we're going to broadcast it out. Whoever is watching and listening, then we create a frequent, a branch is a frequency, I put it, I feel the branch is the frequency. So you can see the tree, it's coming out from the root, just like a human being. We born this way, but we go different ways because of the influence of our environment and what we consume. Right?
I was just going back to what we were saying, what the truth is, right? That there was a movie that was made before The Matrix, and I'm looking at it on the internet. That's why I know I don't have a good memory, so I had to go on the
It's okay.
on the computer, the other black screen, right?
Black.
So in 1992,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, and Demi Moore made a movie with Kevin Bacon and Kiefer Sutherland, all these 5 top stars. And the name of the movie was A Few Good Men.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise was the lead attorney trying to figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
A dramatic instance where
Yes.
a person's life was taken. But what I'm referring to is that famous line that Jack Nicholson says in the middle of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, when he got put on the seat for questioning.
Yes.
By the lawyer, you can't handle the truth.
Right.
And it's true because, again, influencing, that's also including religion and certain religion.
I thought about that a few minutes ago too.
Yeah, certain religion is program many people, about life, and if we'll talk about this next time. But let's say we bring UFO into the picture.
Yeah, we have a lot of branches in this segment, right?
Yes, we have different branches. I love it.
All right.
So,
and then depending on how tall the tree is, That's how many branches you have, or leaves, or what have you.
Yes.
And then every season, new branches and new leaves come out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes. It's a cycle. So UFO will shatter some beliefs, and I believe, I'll say this is my personal belief, but you can, people who's watching or listening can have their own, but I believe there's UFO for real. So, and I will shatter some of the people who believe in certain religions for sure, and that's the truth they can't handle.
Okay.
Yeah, religion is.
So the UFO is, there's a truth behind the UFO, is what you're saying.
I believe it's the real.
And then somebody's been suppressing the truth for years, right? Decades.
Mm-hmm. We don't know why.
Or as they call it now, I believe it was just this year, you mentioned UFO, but this year they changed it to UAP. They went from unidentified flying object UFO to unidentified anomalous phenomenon UAP.
Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing.
Like avatar and influencer and sponsor.
Religion is one too. I forgot to say. Religion is a brand.
And you said you wanted to discuss UFOs in more detail later on?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna drop this before we continue.
Yeah.
Whatever they call it, again, back to the label. Yeah. We don't know what is it called, so we call an unidentified fly object.
Right.
So, but for what I'm believing, my personal belief, that UFO, that flying object is actually a
and I know
time machine.
Say that again?
Huh?
Say that again?
I say I personally believe those UFO and whatever you want to call it, label it, but it's the time machine that we.
Time machine.
Yes.
Wow. From the future or the past?
Both.
Both.
And
better remember this, Shelby, because this
and then the reason they, okay, there's a pattern. They say they travel very zigzagging, right? Like this.
Oh yeah.
And they go, there's no anti-gravity. So I believe they travel on a frequency.
On frequency?
Frequency.
Okay. And what did, just so out of curiosity, so when did you get involved in this UFOs idea that they're hiding?
Well, I've been very passionate about time machine for a very long time.
Okay, so it started with a time machine?
Yes. So
wow.
And I, again, it's like what we were talking about last episode. It's like a puzzle. So different things come to pieces of information, and then I just kind of collected all the information, and then piece them together, and came up with my own. I don't know what you want to call it. Critical thinking, philosophy, theory, or controversy, or
and that concept of a time machine is not new. It's been around for years and years and years. I mean, just the most recent one, and what I mean by recent is in school, if you took some type of literature class or English class, which of course is boring, nobody wants to, so maybe not everybody came across it, but in 1895, there was a science fiction author by the name of H.G. Wells who wrote a book called The Time Machine. That was over 100 years ago.
They made a movie on that one too.
Yeah, they made several times, right?
Yes. So you were right, like all the English class or some sort of literacies.
Or comic book. Maybe you read it in a comic book.
But then I personally took art history.
Art history?
Yes, and if we looking back at those arts, no matter if it's like Christian arts, they already have signs. Remember, there's art with a older version. I mean, an older man and a younger man touching their finger from Rome.
Yeah.
Rome, yeah. So, see, that's a sign. So, if you remember the picture, the older person, I say version. I slip.
Okay.
I slip. Meaning, now I look at it, it's the older self, maybe from the future or from the past. Try to connect with the same person, the younger self. You see, one is on the sky, one is lower, and again frequency. Have different.
You had that
different
higher
waves.
and lower, and I know in
different waves.
In a previous talk we had before this one, we spoke about, I believe, was it Alice in Wonderland who fell through the hole, right?
Yes.
So she went from higher to lower.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So,
but it doesn't mean higher or lower. It's just a different frequency or a different dimension, even.
Let's say if I say those UFO travel in a wave of frequency, that's why it zigzag and disappear so fast. But if it materializes, become as from what we understanding, then it's become a dimension realm.
Okay.
So I don't know about Alice.
Yeah, we have to dig deeper into that. You're probably onto something. But I was thinking about something not more recent, but not real recent. But a lot of people are getting into the comic book stage again, like we were just mentioning Loki and Marvel. Those comic books were, over 50 years ago. And now they're making into movies where people who are 10 years old, like you mentioned, they're dressing up as the superhero characters during Halloween.
Right.
Right? From something that was written 50 years ago under a comic book.
Yeah.
Marvel or DC Comics, and then of course there's other comic books that didn't last as long as they did. But another show that reminded me of time travel was Doctor Who, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was about and then what was the other one too that was made?
The one really made me curious is Back to
the Future in the 80s, right? That was a funny movie with Michael J. Fox, and that was a time machine, and they used a car, but still.
Yeah. If you really think about it, the way they have that car is like the Tesla right now.
Right. What's the name of the character? Marty McFly, right?
Hey, do you know Elon Musk put a Tesla fly into space?
Well, it's his company. I think he can do that, right? But why did he do that? Just so he can go back to the future?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, there's a lot of things there's a lot of branch we can go out from this point. But
that's true.
We will continue
bring it back.
Our future branching out different episodes.
Let's not go too fast. Okay.
But I wanna ask you a question. So all those comic book, Matrix movie, or even those shifts, the arts, like I said, history of art, Shakespeare. So back to the question, the egg first or chicken first? Do you think we create where we are right now is based on those materials and that's why we got here, or the other way around?
That's a very good question. I'd like to go ahead and answer that with a question of my own.
Okay.
There's another, you mentioned Nostradamus as telling the future with the Black Mirror. But how about that show, The Simpsons, where you can go back and several of those episodes, and one in fact, where they mentioned Donald Trump becoming president.
Yeah, I think it's.
So who was it? Who was first? Was it the Simpsons, or was it the future? Or
yes,
right?
Yes, I'm gonna use your own word for this one. I think if we don't think one linear, then we can. I think it's infinity. It's a loop. So there's no end, no begin. So Notre Dame, based on Doris Cannon, she was saying she's feeding him information, but he is the one writing the code, right?
And she's somebody from the present right now, right?
Right.
And Nostradamus lived hundreds of years ago.
Right. So if this is, if you believe it or not, no, not you, but I'm talking to the audience. If the audience you believe it or not, but for me, I believe it. So you can see who feeds who, Like,
I'll have to find a clip. There's a clip. There's a clip
for that.
No, there's another clip we're mentioning it. I'm sure there is a clip on that one. Maybe you have it, but it has to do with the time machine. There's a clip I came across, and sometimes I just let a channel play, and whatever comes on, comes on.
Yeah.
I have no control over it, but then I'll hear something. But if I'm in the middle of something, I cannot stop.
It's okay.
There was one where this person developed a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
A little box, maybe the size of a iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And the person interviewed him, asked him, "How did you invent this?" Because the person never went to college, never took classes, but he was told it all came to him in a dream.
Yes.
And maybe he could have been talking to somebody from the past. Like, let's mention his name,
Yeah.
Nikolai Tesla level, so intelligent.
Yes.
That things just popped into his mind.
Right. Exactly. So,
but it didn't pop into his mind. Somebody was telling him who, I don't know.
That's what happened to all the, including Albert Einstein. It's like somebody told me, somebody sent me the information. And Elon Musk, I kind of read and studied his bio. He said when he's very young, like a little boy, he thought every human being, his friends, family is like himself, receiving information. His brain is always has some information, even when he's little. But later on, he grew up. He said he realized he was the only one getting those informations. Not everyone can get that. And you just mentioned, you just mentioned earlier, whoever that person video you saw, he didn't go to college, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, which means he didn't follow the program. Matrix.
Oh yes, and I know what you're saying. So whatever he came up with, whatever he invented, is not factual because he didn't go to this school, he didn't take this, so it's not valid.
Blue or red pill.
You're right.
Yeah. So I just want to let the audience know we talk about all this, branch out different branches, but we have we come down to the same root.
Okay. So are you saying there could be, or there will be, future episodes of all our little branches?
Yes, with different branch, different. The movie, the entertainment industry is called spin-off. So,
multiple spin-offs and how many seasons? Okay.
or segment. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we can continue on for.
Yeah. Let's see
for
what
10
our
more minutes.
audience or
Let's
what the
continue.
audience wants, or open suggestions, or maybe we'll take suggestions into consideration.
Right. So back to. Sorry, you were saying I cut you off. We can do 10 more minutes.
Oh, okay. So we have a 10 more minute timeline. Okay. I was saying, where was I talking about? It's okay. It'll come back to me.
I forgot to.
No, it was a connection.
Oh, Tesla. And because you mentioned about Tesla, I thought about Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, Tesla has a lot of.
And then like I said, kind of study, do some research about.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Mentioning Tesla, Elon Musk named his cars Tesla after the famous scientist / inventor.
Yeah.
However, many people today would never know who Tesla was or is unless, Elon Musk, if he had not reintroduced that name.
Exactly. And everything, especially today's technology, everything we use today is because of Nikola Tesla, including Wi-Fi.
And that's very funny because
Bluetooth.
If you were to ask people like on a surface level, do you know Tesla? Oh yeah, that's a car, right?
Yeah.
But if you dig deeper and you find out a little bit more information and ask a few more questions like why Tesla? Or even, Google it, Tesla. What is Tesla? Who is Tesla? Why did Elon Musk name his car Tesla? Whatever questions that everybody's thinking about.
Yeah.
But ask them.
Yeah, the Nikola Tesla.
And then you'll find out all this information about, you just mentioned, he has all these inventions that we are using today.
Yeah, and there's no name for it at the time, label.
Right.
But it's basically Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Blu-rays, actually frequency, radio frequency.
That reminds me of a story about a gentleman that many people may not know of, but his name is Jack Ma.
I know.
You know Jack Ma?
Yes.
Well, maybe if you're 12 or 15 years old, you may not know who Jack Ma is, but you probably know his company, Alibaba.
Yeah.
Right? One of his companies in China, right?
Yes.
Can we mention other countries in this call? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right. I don't know. You want to be
I'm just thinking. I don't want to end up like Nancy.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There was a story where Jack Ma was in the United States and he happened to be talking to a delegation as an English. He was an English translator. He was not a electrical person, electrical computer or nothing. He's English.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding. He could have some background, but his actual job duty at the time was English translator.
I see.
And so he was being introduced to this new concept called the internet.
Oh.
And at that time, they had dial-up when he first saw it. So right now, when we press send and attach a document, you can open it up within a minute.
Right.
Back then, and you can Google it and find out when it happened, but back then, it took maybe 3, 4, maybe even 6 hours, maybe even overnight to download a document.
Or it's like faxing back. Fax.
So short, so lengthy of time, right? So when Jack Ma came back to China and he tried to describe, look, I saw this piece of paper go from a wire to another machine,
right,
and the paper came out.
Yeah.
And it's like something like when even not just a cell phone, I don't know, not just a cell phone, but a regular telephone wire. We're talking about something that happened, years ago. Can you imagine? I'm going to call somebody and my voice is going to be heard over hundreds of miles away within the same time frame. And the other person, if they did not know we were talking about Nostradamus and you don't have words for it, you would say that's crazy. That's unheard of. It'll never happen. So Jack Ma, they made fun of him. And even the person who invented the telephone at the time, Alexander Graham Bell, right, was made fun of. They were probably called crazy.
Yes. So what you just described, it gave me a aha moment.
A branch? You got another branch?
It's not really another branch.
Okay.
What you just described, it sounds like time traveling.
Oh,
right.
Go ahead and explain that a little bit. That's very interesting.
Well, okay, because remember we asked about chicken first or egg first. So what you just described, it's actually I don't know. I'm not a scientist or tech person, but what you describe is an analogy of from one point A to point B. Voice or pictures or information or broadcast TV. But what if we take that as if traveling 1.1A to point B? It's the same concept, right? And you just said you call somebody and then you can go call someone from someone over there all the way over there at the same
without moving.
At the same time, you said.
You're saying sometimes if you use that same concept for time travel.
Yeah, it's the same. Or Ben, like they have a lot of those diagrams from one black hole to another one coming out from the other side. It's the same. And that's why Nicholas Tesla got cover up, shut down or whatever you want to call it. And because he knows a lot.
One of the things, let's go back to what you were saying about the time travel, and I agree with the Tesla statement. But one of the things that I had to wrap my head around, which didn't make any sense to me, were the cell phones. How do they work without wires? Because I grew up in the time of wires, and then Wi-Fi. How does Wi-Fi work? See, you know what I mean? It's like there's no connection. There's nothing here.
Yes. See?
What? And I can even send a document through my phone.
Yeah. See, if we really think deeper, it's already happening. What I said, UFO, the identified object that we see is traveling through those invisible path, frequency, or energy. I don't know.
Yeah, frequency would be good.
These are just labeled for right now. But
who
knows what would they call it in the future or what they call it in the past, right? But for right now, we call it frequency. We call it signal.
Signal. And on this note, let me go ahead. Let's end it with this one. So with each cell phone, and even right now we're on our Wi-Fi signal on our laptops. There's multiple hundreds of thousands, even millions of people who are using a cell phone right now. It may not be on, but let's just say hundreds of thousands of people are on a call right now talking to each other. Hundreds of thousands of people without any disruptions. Maybe once or twice the call gets dropped, but that's on a regional, not a person-to-person type of thing or a carrier, right? So all this is happening right now.
Back to the tree behind you.
The tree.
You say 100 people are calling, 100 people are making communications.
Yeah.
So
and that's just on a personal level. We have businesses who are,
what I'm trying to say is, branches is energy. Energy is frequency. So whatever I'm saying right now, I think somehow somebody or maybe whoever, I don't know, is telling me this right now. That's why.
Well, yeah, we just want to, like you mentioned, you just need to expand your thinking and just you don't have to. Um, sometimes you don't have to believe something for it to happen, like the cell phone. You can sit there and say, "I can't believe it," but someone's going to call you. You're going to call somebody.
Yeah, but the majority of people, they don't even think how like you said, how does that happen?
Yeah, and let's go ahead and make it something.
Yeah.
Like we don't know how our microwave oven works. We don't know how our car works, or even something simple like the light switch. I don't know how it works, but I just turn it on and my light goes on.
They don't. Yeah, because
I don't need to know. But if it doesn't work, then okay, I got to call someone who does.
yeah, because
Right?
because they took the blue pill.
Yeah, and or even something like the laptop or the cell phone. Hey, my cell phone won't go on anymore.
Yeah. So I
Let me go
remember.
take it down to Apple.
Yeah. So I remember when we were younger. I don't know if you guys tried this before. We had this little can. You know those can. You dump it, take out everything inside, and you punch a hole from the back, and you put a string, and you tie another one on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
If I talk to you like this, you can hear from your ear just based on one string.
Oh wow!
Try that.
Wow.
That's strange, isn't it?
But you don't have to do that because we have cell phones.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is, it's been this way for a long, long time.
Oh, I see. Just a different
Labels, names. See if
a different way.
See,
Yeah.
radio has been
Radio is
around
very
for a
good.
long,
Yeah.
long time, right? Radio.
Yeah, I was always amazed how many channels or how many
See,
frequencies die on the radio. That
right.
it's the same machine, all these channels on there.
Yeah,
Wow.
just
All
like
going at the same time, right?
just like the tree behind you.
Wow.
So you pick a very good background today. Thank you. So
tree
now
is
I'm sure
funny.
you will look the tree differently like I do.
Oh, okay.
All right. So thank you, Jesse, and thank you for listening and watching. We will be back next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye bye. Until next time.